There's part of you that learned to hide, not because you're weak, but because something somewhere made you feel like you were too much, or not enough at the same time. Too sensitive, too emotional, too different, too visible, or somehow not enough to be fully seen. So you adapted. You became smaller, quieter, safer, apologetic. But what if that part of you was never the problem? What if that part of you is the one that was always meant to shine? The star child is the archetype of shame. Shame, in its purest form, is not flaw. It's the wound of disconnection from self. The core wound of the star child is this: there is something wrong with me. At some point, you learned that your emotions were too much, your needs were inconvenient, your expression was judged or rejected, and your authenticity was not safe. So, you adapted. You survived by hiding parts of yourself, seeking approval, becoming who others needed you to be, silencing your truth, shrinking, and disconnecting from your own identity, not because you lacked strength, but because you were trying to protect your belonging. The star child protects themselves by shrinking. So you may notice yourself overthinking how you're perceived, feeling exposed or vulnerable easily, avoiding full self-expression, seeking validation before acting, and holding back your true thoughts or desires. This isn't insecurity. This is adaptive self-protection. But when the self is suppressed, it does not disappear, it fragments. And that fragmentation becomes self-doubt, inner criticism, people-pleasing, tons of comparison, and a quiet sense of not belonging anywhere fully. This is the shadow expression, the shrinker. Not because you are small, but because you were taught it was safer to be. And beneath it all, there's a quiet fear. If I show who I really am, I will be rejected. If I take up too much space, I will lose connection. So you stay contained. And even when your soul wants expansion, you remain contained. What you actually need is not to improve yourself, not to become more acceptable, not to fix who you are. You need to return to yourself, because shame is not truth. It's learned perception. And beneath it, there is nothing broken. There is only the part of you that was never fully received. The star child does not eliminate shame. They transform their relationship to it. They understand shame says hide, and truth says be seen. And safety is built by choosing visibility in safe, intentional ways. This is the shift from self-rejection to self-recognition, from hiding to gentle visibility, from fragmentation to integration. When shame is alchemized, the star child emerges. This is a soul who feels safe being seen, who expresses themselves without constant self-editing, who holds compassion for their imperfections and those of others, who lives in authenticity instead of performance, and belongs to themselves first. Their sensitivity becomes creativity, emotional depth, intuition, connection, playfulness, and authentic presence. The star child does not seek permission to exist. They allow themselves to be, fully, gently, and honestly. This path is not about forcing confidence. It's about rebuilding safety within your own identity. So the first thing you can try is number 1, self-compassion practice, rewriting the inner voice. Shame is reinforced internally because some of the ridiculous things that we say to ourselves inside our own heads, when spoken aloud, become clearly ridiculous and sometimes very disgusting. So we begin there. Notice your inner dialogue and gently shift it from what's wrong with me to what happened to me. From I'm not enough to I am learning to accept myself and love myself. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you love, your very best friend, your child, your partner. Why this works? You begin to replace internal rejection with internal support. Number 2, safe visibility, letting yourself be seen gradually. You don't go from hiding to full exposure overnight. You build it. You can start with sharing your thoughts in safe spaces, expressing yourself in small ways, and showing up without over-editing every detail, and allowing yourself to be imperfect in public. Visibility is a practice, not a leap. Why this works? Your system learns I can be seen and still be safe. Number 3, reconnecting to authentic desire, who you are really. Many star children lost touch with themselves, so we rediscover. Ask, what do I actually like? What feels true for me? Explore your preferences, creativity, self-expression, style, and your voice without needing approval or validation. Why this works? You reconnect with identity beyond conditioning. Integration over perfection. Number 4, allowing all parts of you. You are not meant to be flawless. You are meant to be whole. This means you can be confident and uncertain. You can be strong and sensitive. You can be clear and still evolving. Both things can be true at the same time. Nothing needs to be removed. It needs to be included. Why this works? Shame dissolves. When nothing inside you is being rejected, all things can be accepted. The Star Child's path is not about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before you learned to hide. This is the shift. Shame moves from something that silences you to something that guides you back to yourself. You were never too much. You were never not enough. You were simply someone who needed to be seen and learned to disappear instead. And now, you are learning to come back into the light.